My name is Dr. Joseph Haig. I was born in New York City. I have 9 brothers and sisters. After going to high school, I went to the State University of New York at Albany, where I got my dancing degree and my American government degree. From there, I moved to Providence, Rhode Island, where I worked on my master's on administration and supervision. And then I was accepted to Atlanta University, and I'm of the first class when Atlanta University and Clark University combined in 1991 is when I graduated from Atlanta University. In the meantime, from the 1984-85, I started teaching at Cedar Grove High School in DeKalb County. I moved down to Georgia due to the fact that I was working on my doctorate. I got here, I started substitute teaching, and eventually I got into DeKalb County and started at Cedar Grove High School. From there, I moved to Dunwoody High School, and I stayed at Dunwoody High School for 4 years. And then I was promoted as assistant principal, and I went to Druid Hills High School, which became the first charter school. I had left just before that it turned to a charter school. I moved to California, was assistant principal of a high school. From there, I moved to Rochester, New York, where I was the principal of a high school, the School of the Arts. And then I eventually moved back to Georgia and was able to, in 1997, move back to Georgia and began my career again in history, U.S. history, at Southwest DeKalb High School. Stayed there for 3 years, became the teacher of the year, and eventually they asked me to go back to Cedar Grove High School. And I've been at Cedar Grove High School as the chairperson of the history department for 13 years. And now this is my 40th year, and I'm at Cedar Grove High School. My parents thought I was going to be the next new Sammy Davis Jr. Me and my 3 sisters, one older and 2 younger than me. My parents, when we had company and our relatives would come over, they would ask the 3 of us to dance. And my father saw that I was dancing very similar to what Sammy Davis Jr., how he would dance. And so at 7 or 8, they sent me to tap school. So I learned how to tap dance first. By the time I was 10, they saw that I could grow in that area and that I liked to do it, because I didn't have to dance if I really didn't want to. I had 3 brothers older than me who were more athletically inclined. And then I just pursued it, and I got a scholarship to dance between 13 and 16. And at 16, I got to go to college with a dance scholarship. So I really got through school, my first degree, BA, through a dance scholarship. And when I was in my junior year in college, I switched over to history because my parents said, if you break your leg, you water your knees and those kinds of things, you have to have a way of feeding yourself. And so I was glad that I took history behind me. I had that background. Also, my mom was an inventor. She invented a garment, and so she used to take me back and forth to Washington, D.C. And the first politician that I really was involved in, as we were going back and forth to secure her patent, was Shirley Chisholm. I always remember, because Shirley Chisholm was from the West Indies, but she represented Brooklyn, New York, and that accent just grabbed me. And so between history and dancing, eventually I danced at Conley Hall, where the Rockets dance during when you have the Macy's Day Parade. And so I enjoyed that, but again, I focused on history because I knew I had to eat. Well, I would start off my family history. I think my mother asked me to start writing our family book, family history. So again, going back and forth to Washington, the Library of Congress and things like that, I was always involved in history some kind of way. Teaching history, I always thought that citizenship is the key. We have to get involved and vote and those kinds of things. And the earlier you tell children as they grow and mature to the adulthood that voting is very important. That's one of the only rights you really do have. And because we were denied it through our history, now we have that opportunity. And so by spreading the history and letting kids know that we are part of this country, those kinds of things, so this kept me involved. Now I teach economics to 12th graders. It's required in Georgia for all 12th graders to pass economics. So now I'm teaching economics. My best thing that I can say as to why I stay focused is because 2 organizations that I'm involved in. One is called the Georgia Council of Economic Education, and also the Federal Reserve downtown in Atlanta. Those 2 organizations pull teachers in, give them all kinds of resources that they could use in the classroom. And in 2016, I became a finalist of the Teacher of the Year for the state of Georgia, teaching economics to high school students. The first thing I can say is that I've been teaching so long. Like I said, this is my 40th year. I walked into Cedar Grove High School on October 12, 1980. And the students I've seen them change. And one time, when a teacher told you to do something, you didn't question it, you did it, and that was just that. Today, because of social media and all kinds of tools that the kids can use, is staying focused. And so the change that I see that is something that we still need to work on, is students being able to read. Once you enjoy reading, then your mind expands because you're looking at other people and other different things that you can incorporate in your life. And so reading is the key, and because kids can get answers very quickly, their focus is not as strong as it should be. And that's because of all the other things that they're involved in, never mind their social problems and their family history and their family issues. Reading is really the key. Also, money. We know we cannot survive without it. If you don't learn at an early age how to really manage your money, it can mess you up as you start your career, as you start to become a young adult. And so one of the things I stress with the kids is you have to have a bank account and you have to start saving. Once you start saving, your mind and your ability and your standard of living, once you know how to manage it, it becomes more relevant. And these kids really just have to learn that because the economic system is going to control their life. And so I got involved with economics. A lot of teachers didn't want to teach that because it's a state test that comes after it. But I'm never afraid of making sure the kids get the information they need, and then they do as well as they possibly can on this standardized test. It's called the annual course test all seniors have to take. I think it's both my mother and father. I tell my students there are three people, excuse me, there are four people that I see as my heroes or the folks that inspire me. Obviously my parents. My father was very strict. We had to go to school. School was very important so that we ended up having this same kind of job that he had to take as he was raising us. Like I said, I have 9 brothers and sisters. I'm number 7. I have 3 sisters older than me, 2 sisters younger than me, and 3 brothers older than me. So being number 7, I was able to watch at what my other brothers and sisters did and follow their footsteps. As a matter of fact, when I was in the 9th grade, I had a brother who was a math teacher. So that was kind of cool that I had somebody to aspire to. And then my other 2, like I said, my mother was my inspiration. She laid the foundation. She taught all of us how to do a lot of things. But my father was the breadwinner when he went out and worked and came back and brought in the meat for us to exist. But my mother was the kind of person that really focused on each child. So she knew each one of our abilities. I had a brother 9 months older than me. We were in the same class. I got the 95, he got the 80. My mother never said to the 2 of us, because he got a 95, why can't you get a 95? Because she always said each kid learned differently. And so she didn't put that pressure on us that because we were in the same class, that we had to perform the same way. Also, the other 2 individuals that really have inspired me, and I tell the students all the time, I have a picture on in my room, Nelson Mandela, because I still can't figure out how somebody can stay in prison for 27 years and come out and become the president of their country. See, it's not you. It's not you. See, once you get past you and your own idiosyncrasy, it's always others. And Harriet Tubman. Because I honestly believe that when you stay focused and people try to stop you from doing it, and then you resist by saying that when you come with me, you got to go all the way. There's hard time, we don't have food, we have all kinds of things that try to stop us. But if you want to turn around, I'll risk my life and kill you. Because I can't risk you going back and telling the secrets for us to get where we want to go. And so those are two of many people that really have inspired me in terms of staying focused. I did also have the opportunity 2 summers ago to go to Jimmy Carter Center, a museum and library in downtown Atlanta, and was able to participate in a workshop where Nelson Mandela's grandson and Jimmy Carter's grandson were having a conversation. And at the end of their conversation, being a history teacher, I raised my hand and I was the first to ask a question to Nelson Mandela's grandson. And my question was to him, what was something your grandfather taught you or said to you that you just will never, ever, ever forget? And so he said to me that my grandfather said to me one day You don't have to be a politician. You don't have to be a singer. You don't have to have a grocery store or you own a business. Go to college, and I promise you, you will figure it out. And I said, thank you for telling me that, because I have a 5-year-old granddaughter, and I want to make sure that I say something to her that she just will always remember, no matter what situations she's in. And Jimmy Carter's grandson said practically the same thing. His parents and grandparents didn't tell him to be a politician, didn't tell him to be a leader, didn't tell him to be a business person. Find your passion, and the money will come, because you got to eat. So you find your passion, you do what you want to do, and that's what my parents said to us. Find what you love to do, that if you don't get paid, you would do it anyway. That's passion. That's what I'm trying to get these kids to develop. Find something you absolutely love, because you have a lovely life. You may work around people you don't like, people don't like you, but if you're focused and that's what you really want to do, and you have passion for it, you will feed yourself. You'll find to make the money to have a better standard of living. I don't look at the years, how many years I've spent in it. What I say is that one day I will wake up and say, you did enough, or you don't want to do this anymore, or why not do something else? But like I said, staying focused. What I love to do is teach, find the area that I really have passion in terms of history, all kinds of history. I taught almost everything. And so it's not a number in terms of years, it's a number in terms of, I get the question all the time, when are you going to retire? And I turn that question around to the person that asked me and say, when are you going to retire? Because I think you're worried about the wrong thing. I will know one day, it'll say, this is it. But I found my passion, I found what I love to do. So it's not number of years, it's not the number of years that I spend doing it, it's that I've enjoyed doing it every single year. So I always feel like a first-year teacher. The first day of school, I have to go to school, get new pants, new clothes, new shoes. I've never stopped doing it from being a student to being a teacher, those kinds of things. Just stuck with me. So I just love what I'm doing. If you have passion, you love what you're doing, you'll do it until that day. You'll know that it's enough. And that hasn't come yet. The first thing is that you have to love teaching kids, and all kids are teachable. Everybody's educable, so no matter what your situation is, you can always learn. I still learn. I tell them I'm learning every day. And then I tell them, as soon as they come into the classroom, as a matter of fact, the first day, as soon as they sit down, and I have all my instructions and things on the board. And the very first thing at the top of the board, with my name and the date and welcome to school this year, that kind of thing, is do the work. You will get the credit. Do the work. That's the bottom line. Do the work. Okay, whether you get 100, whether you get a 70, whether you get 80. If you don't do the work, I have nothing that I can use to help you get to where you want to go. So that's the first thing. Then I say, I'm that old-fashioned teacher. I've been here long enough that I was teaching. That's what I always went through. As kids change, with social media, the cell phone, all those kinds of things, I have to adapt myself to those, to what they're doing also. And so the next thing is that I'm the teacher and I'm in control of my classroom. I will not let you tell me what to do. I just won't let you do that. If we have a conflict, I'm a parent. I know your parent. I don't want my parent. I don't want anybody to lie on my child. I wouldn't lie on your child. The third thing is that if I ask you to do something, it's reasonable. In other words, please be quiet so others can understand what's going on. And sometimes I have to show them, watch me be quiet. Watch me be quiet. See, I learned how to do that because my parents told me, when I'm talking to you, you need to look at me in my eyes, and there's no talking. There's no talking. You cannot listen and talk. It doesn't happen like that. So that's the first thing. Do the work, you get the credit, and be respectful of others who in the class who want to learn. You may not want to learn, and that's all right, but you don't have the right to stop somebody else from learning because you want to play, because you don't want to listen, because you want to text somebody, because you can't have that in this room. I don't care what your other teachers allow you to do, because I have nothing to say about what you're doing in another classroom. It's all in this classroom. Third is, I determine where you sit. I determine where you sit in my room. You don't determine that, because sometimes you'll sit by folks that I know just want to talk. And so by you being in the groove and you're sitting in different seats, you're learning other kids, other behaviors, learning to learn from other people other than just the one you just sit by or who you want to sit by. And I think the last rule is that I will call your parent instantly to have a conversation about you're not focusing in this class. So they know I'm that strict teacher. On the other side, I like to have fun, because I'm from New York. We play the dozens. My classes is like welcome back harder, because I allow them to express themselves. But I also say, I'm the one that's educated, and my job is to educate you or give you the information so that you can use that information later on in your life. And I think the best thing that has happened to me in terms of teaching, I've had 2 students in my class who became teachers in DeKalb County. And that's the best, I think the best feeling a teacher can have. Because one day we were on our way to Washington to meet with President Obama, and we were at Georgia State, and 30 teachers were selected to go to Washington for a week and get involved in the presidential election. We were in the classroom and we were introducing each other, and I realized that there was 2 young ladies in the class that were in my class, were students, and now they're in the class with me teaching. And so I told the instructor, those 2 teachers over there, they were in my class. And so the instructor said, oh, no, they wasn't, no, they wasn't. I said, yes, they was. I said, now, I'm going to ask them a question and watch the 2. If they answer the same question at the same time, then you know that I'm telling you the truth. Now, in my class, I never say 0. You don't get a 0 when you don't do your work. I give you a donut. So I feel a donut at least have flour. It's not nothing. And so I asked the 2 little ladies, I said, were you in my class? And both of them said yes. I was at Dunwoody High School. I was at Druid Hills High School. I said, what did I say instead of giving you a 0? And the both of them said donut. So that meant that they really paid attention, but they followed the same career as me. So I don't think that could be a better accomplishment as a teacher, to see 2 of your students not only become teachers, but in the same system that you're in. I think I'm definitely going to teach 1 more year. When April comes around and I get my contract, I'm going to definitely sign it, because I said to myself in February of this year, which is a couple of weeks from now, I need to make a decision. And the reason why is because my nephew married one of Oprah Winfrey's nieces, and Oprah loves teachers. And so I have asked my sister whether or not it would be possible that when I decide to retire, can I have, would it be right for them to invite her to my retirement party? And my sister said, you have to give Oprah at least a year before you say something, because our schedule is so busy and those kinds of things. So I know that, because I decided that I was going to go back 1 more year. It'll be a couple of years, but hopefully when that comes, I'll have a really, really nice retirement party. And then, like I said, my mother invented a garment, and it's called Haig, and we're trying to get it on the market. Me and my older brother, we have a corporation. I have 9 brothers and sisters. We have shares and those kinds of things. So this year, 2020, is to really get it on the market. And they're waiting for me to retire in order to push this product. But we're all doing our share. I'm the CEO, my brother's the CFO, and we're working right now to put this product on the market that my mother invented. My mother invented a product. It's called Haig. The black man has invented everything for the feet, and so my mother has invented the last garment that you can actually put on your feet. And I can't say no more than that. All right. For the last 10 years, I've been the coach of the debate team. I have been able to take 9th graders, and by the time they became 12th graders, they became the state champions of debate. And so it's a national topic that all high school students, if they have a debate team, participate in. It's statewide and national and those kinds of things. This year, because I'm getting ready to retire somewhat, saying that I want to take on too many other responsibilities, I want to just focus on teaching economics that these kids who are required, I said, let me start something in the school where we're getting kids to now think. We know my school is very good at athletics. As a matter of fact, we've won the championship for football the last 3 years on the state level. So we know athletically we're doing well. Academically, we're moving up the ladder because obviously we're doing very well in the EOC testing. So I said, what could I do as I'm slowly saying to myself, let's move from this situation. And so 3 weeks ago, I went to the principal and I asked him, can I start a chess club? And he said, absolutely. I put some literature around the school and I promoted it. And last week we had our very first chess meeting. And I was surprised because there are 17 kids and 9 of them are girls, which is really surprising for chess. And so last week we worked there for the second time. And I'm hoping that they develop this strategy, not only to learn chess, but there's something called Chinese chess. See, to expand their knowledge of the strategy that you have to use in order to compete, because you can take chess on the national level just like any other sport. And so through that, if I stay one more year, I'm going to try to turn that back into our debate team. See, I don't want to start off with the debate team once again right up front. I want to find out the kinds of kids that are willing to do things differently as opposed to playing Xbox and all those other kinds of things. Let's start using our minds and our strategies. And so hopefully this will work. And hopefully next week, Tuesday, because every Tuesday I'll invite the principal and he'll start playing with us also, because he's the one that said go ahead and start this chess group, because that's what you want. Absolutely excellent. We've been knowing each other for the last 15, 20 years for a while. And again, anytime there's something involved in the community, he'll let me know what's going on, and I'll try to participate as I can. And that's always open. He knows he can always call me to give a lecture or to speak at a workshop, or even just to get together with the kids and talk about how they're moving. In my school, we have the men of Cedar Grove, and last week I talked to them about my career and being inspired by individuals to stay focused. And so that's one of the things that this magazine and also the organization that Mr. Miller runs that really have gotten me involved. And like I said, he knows he can come to me and ask me anything to deal with educational issues.